Hello everyone. So like I said, today we're going to be making some no churn ice cream, and this really only requires 4 ingredients, so it's super easy, plus any mix-ins that you want to add in. So the first ingredient that we have is our sweetened condensed milk, and that's going to be 1 can here of that. I'm going to put that into this bowl. You do want to work in a slightly larger bowl just to make sure you can eventually add in the cream that we're going to whip. Got 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. We're going to follow that up with 2 teaspoons of vanilla and then a pinch of salt. Actually use salted caramel as my mix-in, so I'm gonna go fairly easy light on the salt. Just a little pinch. That's it. From there, I'm gonna whisk it all together. Are. So I'm going to set this aside and get my cold heavy whipping cream ready to whip. All right, for the next part we have to whip our cold heavy whipping cream. So you can see here, this is the kind brand that I am using here. I'm going to measure out 2 cups into my mixing bowl. Again, you do want to make sure that this is cold. So this came directly from the refrigerator. There we go. Now the next part is going to get a little loud. We've got to use our mixer. You could whisk it, but it would take a while. So I'm going to use my hand mixer here to be able to whip this into some stiff peaks. It should take roughly 2 minutes, but I'm going to pause this video and switch it over so it's not loud for you guys. And what I'm gonna do is fold that into my mixture with my sweetened condensed milk, vanilla, and salt. What that means is I'm not gonna whisk it in or, you know, heavily mix it in. What I wanna do is take about a cup of this mixture here and start mixing into here, okay? Now, of course, my 1 cup is a little dirty, but I'm gonna take a half a cup of here. There we go. And start to fold that in. And what we're trying to not do is lose a lot of the air that we whipped into that whipped cream. I'm going to take the rest here now. Mix that in as well. Now's about the time that we're going to start putting it into our pan. I don't actually have a loaf pan that I'm going to use, but I'm going to use another small dish that I have to let this freeze. All right, so while it's recommended to use a loaf pan, I don't have one, so I'm going to end up pouring this into a cake pan. And then this is going to go in the freezer. Now in a meatloaf or a loaf pan, it's about 2 hours. So because this is a bit thinner, I'll probably start checking on this a little earlier than that. And that's when we get to add in any mix-ins that we want to put in there. So no matter what pan you're working in, you do want to make sure that this is roughly level, that way it all freezes at about the same amount of time. There we go. From there, I'm going to cover this with some saran wrap and let it start freezing. All right. One of our last steps is going to be adding in any fixins that we want in. So I'm just going to do a little bit of salted caramel in here, but you could add in Oreos, different different cereals, etc. So like I said, I'm just going to add a little bit of caramel in here. And you want to wait until this gets to about like a soft serve texture, and then you're just going to take your spoon and kind of weave it in here. So we'll mix that in. Obviously easier if I wasn't holding my phone. And then I'll leave that there to keep mixing in. Grab another spoon to add a little bit more caramel. I'm just going to add a bunch over there, and I'll use my spoon then to mix it in. If I had some pretzels at home too, this would be great to add in there. If I do one more scoop, then that would be good. You can can always add more in when you're eating it, right? Now, like I said, I'm just gonna take this spoon, keep weaving it in there. Then this is gonna go back in the freezer. So after you add your mix-ins in, set it right back into the freezer for another 3 hours, all right? And then your ice cream will be ready to scoop out and serve, however you like it. Cone, bowl, etc., what have you. All right, enjoy, guys.